John Dillinger arrived in Dallas on the morning of November 22, 1963, and rented an Avis at the airport. He drove out to Dealey Plaza and scouted the terrain. The triple underpass where Harry Coyne was supposed to stand when doing the job was under observation from a railroadman's shack, he noted. It occurred to him that the man in that shack would not have a long life expectancy. There would be a lot of other eyewitnesses, he realized, and the jams couldn't protect them all, not even with the help of the LDD. It was going to be bad all around. In fact, the man in the railroad shack, S.M. Holland, told a story that didn't jibe with the Earl Warren version, and later died when his car went off the road under circumstances that aroused speculation among those given to speculating. The coroner's jury called it an accident. Dillinger found his spot in the thickly wooded part of the grassy knoll and waited until Harry Coyne appeared on the underpass. He made himself relax and looked around to be sure that he was invisible from everywhere but a helicopter. There were no helicopters. The Illuminati's top double agent within the Secret Service had seen to that. A movement in the school book depository caught his eye, something not kosher up there. He swung his binoculars and caught another head ducking quickly atop the Daltex building, an Italian, very young. That was bad. If one of Maldonado's soldiers was here, either the Illuminati were aware they had a double agent in their midst and had hired 2 assassins, or else the syndicate was acting on its own. John panned back to the schoolbook depository. Whoever that clown was, he had a rifle too, and he was being cagey. Definitely not Secret Service. This was a piss-cutter. John's original plan was to plug Harry Coyne before Coyne could get a bead on the young Hegelian from Boston. Now he had 3 men to knock out at once. It couldn't be done. There was no human way of hitting more than 2 of those targets, all 3 of them in different areas and at different elevations, before the fuzz were swarming all over him. The third would have time to do the job while that was happening. It was what Hagbard called an existential koan.
"Shit, piss, and industrial waste,"
John muttered, quoting another Chileanism.
"Well, save what you can, as Harry Pierpont always said when a bank job went sour in the middle. Save what you can and haul ass out of that place."
If Kennedy had to die, and obviously it was in the cards, or in the I Ching at least, which probably explained why Hagbard, after consulting that computer of his, refused to get involved in this caper, then save what you can could only be applied, in this case, to mean screw the Illuminati. He would give them a mystery they would never solve. The motorcade was already in front of the schoolbook depository, and the gazebo up there might start blasting at any minute, if Harry Coyne or the mafiosos weren't quicker. Dillinger hoisted his rifle, quickly sighted on John F. Kennedy's skull, and thought briefly,
"Even if it falls through and doesn't remain an enigma to bug the Illuminati, think of those wild headlines when I'm caught. President shot by John Dillinger. People will think Orson Welles is publishing the papers now."
And then he tightened his finger.
Appendix Mem. Certain questions that may still trouble some readers. 1. What was Mama Sutra's reading where Danny Price Fixer questioned her actually all about? Answer. It had nothing to do with the John F. Kennedy assassination, the confrontation bombing, the Illuminati, or any of the subjects it seemed to suggest, except indirectly. She had aimed in the dark and picked up bits and pieces of the old movie Manhattan Melodrama, thusly. District Attorney Wade does not refer to the Dallas official who first proclaimed Lee Harvey Oswald's guilt over TV. It refers to the character played by William Powell in the movie. Clark does not refer to any of the Captain Clarks we've encountered. It refers to Clark Gable, Mr. Powell's co-star. The ship is sinking does not refer to the Illuminati spider ships or the ship piloted by Captain Clark. It refers to the General Slocum as Mama guessed. The sinking of this ship on June the 15th, 1904, is the first scene in the movie. 2422 does not refer to the dates of Oswald's and Kennedy's assassinations or to the old wobbly address. It refers to a scene in the film where Gable, at a racetrack, walks from box 24 to box 22. Box 23 is never shown, his body being between it and the camera. "If I can't live as I please, let me die when I choose," is the last line spoken by Clark Gable in the screenplay. The fact that these phrases overlap certain themes in this novel and in Joyce's Ulysses is either coincidence or synchronicity. Take your choice. Manhattan Melodrama, you might be interested to know, was playing at the Biograph Theatre on the night of July the 22nd, 1934, and was the last film seen by the man who was shot outside and identified as John Herbert Dillinger. 2. What was the Masonic signal of distress used by the grocer B.F. Morgan when Dillinger tried to rob him in 1924? Answer. It consists in holding your arms outward, bent upward 90 degrees at the elbow, and shouting, "Will nobody help the widow's son?" 3. Is there really a secret passage beneath the meditation room in the UN building? Answer. If so, we haven't been able to find it. Other spooky secrets about that room, however, are revealed in The Cult of the All-Seeing Eye by Robert Keith Spencer, Christian Book Club of America, 1964. 4. What was the erosion of Adam Weishaupt mentioned by Hagbard in the first trip? Answer. The word translates loosely as lovin', and the idea is basically the same. See the books of Nestor Webster and John Robison cited in the text. Now do you believe in a conspiracy? 5. Did Al Capone really help the FBI set up the man who was shot at the Biograph Theatre on July the 22nd, 1934? Answer. That's one of the more plausible arguments in Dillinger Dead or Alive by J. Nash and Ron Offen. 6. If no animals were reported missing from local zoos, how is it that Robert Simpson of Kansas City was found dead with his throat torn as if by the talons of some enormous beast? Answer. See the sequel, The Homing Pigeons. 7. If Simon Moon majored in mathematics and was so obsessed with numerology, why didn't he ever notice the most significant 23 in mathematical history? The 23 definitions that open Euclid's geometry. Answer. Perhaps for the same reason that the road from Dayton, Ohio to New Lebanon, Ohio was due east when Joe Malick drove it on June the 25th, 1969. But has always been due west on every day before and since then. Or maybe by the same process that allowed Joe to see a Salem commercial on his TV set in the mid-1970s, although cigarette advertising was banned from television in 1971. 8. Did Smiling Jim Treponema achieve the fame he had sought? Answer, no.